How has the family been doing? You went off on furlough. How has that been for you?
Yeah, I mean, I think as with everyone, it was a little bit mental at the start, and having Oren and us all being stuck at home was pretty crazy. And at the point we had a whole lot of projects just sort of at the brink of getting going, and then furlough has sort of put all those things on pause, and lockdown has really been the thing that put those on pause. Oren's getting into his bird watching. He turned 1 and has taken his first steps. So life has continued forwards. But it's been a wonderful time for some reflection and thought, and I'm really excited to be back.
I hear that as part of your phase return, you're going to be spending a day with Glasgow City Mission, 1 day a week. So tell the church family, how did that come about? What's your thoughts? And what are you getting up to with Glasgow City Mission at this time?
Yeah, it's the City Mission's a great organisation. It's doing great work, and it's an institution in the city, but it's still very innovative, and it's doing new things all the time. And so part of our thinking behind the secondment was just that while things are slowly gaining momentum at QP, my services can be of use somewhere in the community. And then also it's just a great place to learn. So I'm excited to be there. I'm going to be working with some of the project workers, including Adam Ireland from Partick, engaging with some of the refugees and the migrants who have been caught in sort of the lockdown changes, and they're all stuck in hotels and things like that. So that's the main work, but the arrangement's flexible enough that I can sort of go where the help is needed, and also go where there's extra learning to be had too.
And I think it's just great that we've had a long-standing relationship with Glasgow City Mission. There's about 9 of us, I think, at QP family that are all part of the mission. So I think it's just great going forward that you're able to come and spend some time with us, just see what's going on in the city, and just get a sense of what does it feel like to call that part of the city to life, and how can we as QP, yourself as a point director, be part of that going forward. So we're delighted to have you, if not only for making the coffee for me when I'm in the building every day. So I know that just before furlough and lockdown, Jamie, we spoke a lot about prayer, and we started to do Sunday evenings, focusing a lot around prayer and calling the city to life, and specifically praying into different areas and subjects. And you had started some prayer walks that I was part of. And I don't know about you living in the area, Jamie, I've got a bit of a new love for the area that I am currently living in. I've really enjoyed getting to know neighbours and walking in the park, going past the point and praying for it often when I'm walking Alfie. So, and I know that as Christians, prayer takes us into a place that miracles, transformation, healing happens. What is your sense that God is saying for us as QP going forward as we spend some time in prayer? Have you got any thoughts around that and how to engage church moving forward in this area?
Yeah, I mean, lockdown has really turned everybody into very local people, hasn't it? And I feel the same way. I think there's some real life in Govan Hill that being stuck here has really been unveiled to me. So it's been lovely as well. And you're right, we were doing a lot of prayer walks and things like that, and doing some litter picks around the neighborhood as well. And prayer is key. Prayer is so vital to the health of the church, and I think lockdown has helped us slow down and have a look at the way we do things and think about that. And so I'm excited to be coming back, and we're going to be starting up a few different prayer things that'll be coming out of the point as a project, but the building is still sort of lying dormant at the moment. but we'll be running a couple of Zoom prayer meetings and hopefully some socially distant prayer walks through Govan Hill, and then, you know, where people are too. There's no reason that you can't do a prayer walk in your own neighbourhood too. I'm personally, I'm really willing to let the Spirit guide us in what to pray, but I'm personally feeling this call to pray for God's presence with us, and to pray for God to call us to be an active presence ourselves in our neighbourhoods. So I think those are the things that in the next couple of weeks we'll be starting up some of those prayer things and really building a platform to then move into action from.
Because, do you know, Jamie, I think we don't want to run ahead without fully hearing the voice of God for our community, for our church family at QP, and the wider sense of the city. We just need to hear God's voice. So I'm excited to be spending some time in prayer, hopefully at the end of this month as well. So have you got any thoughts on how do we continue to engage the neighbours, our community? Have you been doing any fun things in this time? I'm pretty sure I've seen a post that you tried bread making. So tell us, have you got any thoughts on how we continue to engage the community, to engage our neighbours in that kind of fun sense?
Yeah, I mean, I guess one of the things I really want to encourage us as a church is that I have really seen, and I really believe that actually there's the beginnings of a bit of a culture shift in how people are engaging with one another in our neighborhoods. A lot of people are really lonely, but there's also just everyone is more willing to meet new people. Everyone is wanting to engage, and we all have this shared experience now that everyone has been in lockdown and everyone has gone through this pandemic, and there's stories to tell and people want to tell those stories. And we have this opportunity as a church to love by listening, by being interested, by wanting to engage in relationship with our neighbors. One of the things that I've been doing is I went and did the whole insane sourdough pandemic thing, and it was great. So I've been baking a little bit of bread, and I can make a big batch, make a big dough, and then have a few different loaves. And then I've got this great excuse to have a spare loaf and knock on someone's door and say, "Hey, I've got this extra loaf. Would you like it?" And then have a bit of a conversation, and it just sows the seeds of relationship. And now that's not just somebody down the road. That's actually, you know, that's Jordan, and now I know him, and I have a relationship with him, and that builds from there. And I think as I come back into this work, I'm really interested in us looking more closely at how we can bring the kingdom of heaven into our neighborhoods. Something that Jesus said is that the kingdom of heaven is like leaven, which is yeast. And all you have to do is just put a little bit in, and it spreads through the whole dough. And that actually happens. Like, that's real. That's actually the way that yeast works. And it's just small. You can't actually see yeast. It's tiny. But I'm really excited for these small things. And I think that's going to be a key part of what the point actually looks like in this post-COVID world is lots of small things that will grow.
Yeah, brilliant. Well, Jamie, it's been great just to spend some time hearing again your heart for the point, hearing your heart for QP, and calling our city to life as well. And I guess we've been learning, like you say, isolation, loneliness. People are struggling for that connection point, aren't they? So, and as we start to ease out of lockdown, we're praying together as QP family for the wisdom of God to know what's the next step going forward. And we just need to hear. We need to hear the voice of God for that. But we're really thankful as QP family. We want you to know that we're behind you as you come back, Jamie, and take up the reins of the point director. And I guess, like you say there, we've all got something to bring. We say a lot of the times, what have we got in our hands? So I guess the challenge is, isn't it, is what have we got in our hands, and how can we bring that to bring in the kingdom of God here on earth in our community, and then further by calling the city to life. So Jamie, thanks so much. It's been great hanging out with you. Please, people, if you've got thoughts, ideas, church family, get in touch with Jamie. He would love to hear from you. But let's together keep calling this city to life.